Hi, this is Thomas Logan from Equal Entry, and in this video I want to show you how you can use Walk-in VR to adapt and take an experience that's not accessible and make it accessible. So when Job Simulator was originally released, it was designed for 6 degrees of freedom, which means that they expected people to be walking around in a physical room, crouching down on the ground, reaching up high in the physical space to access things in the game. In the store clerk scenario, one of the first things you need to do is grab something from the freezer. So Kenji turns to his left, reaches down to the ground and crouches. He can pull open the freezer and we can see that there's a burrito in there, there's some hot dogs and some popsicles. So this is something you need to do inside the experience pretty soon, right when you start. In a later release of Job Simulator, they realized that a lot of people wanted to play this experience seated. So they adapted the experience to be able to be done in a seated position. Let's try doing the same task of opening the refrigerator from the seated position. So again, you can see that now we're not actually crouching down in the room. Kenji is having though to lean over quite a bit and reach down to the floor. So what do we do if we're not able to have the mobility to reach that far down to the floor? What if we have a limited range of mobility? That's where software like Walk-in VR comes in. One of the ideas of using Walk-in VR with any application on Steam VR is people with disabilities want to use these experiences as well. So if someone has a limited range of motion, say for example, someone's unable to reach down to the floor, but is able to move their arms up and down, say 20 to 45 degrees, and also left and right, maybe 20 to 40 degrees. We still want that person to be able to have this experience, and that's where Walk-in VR can come in and assist. So one of the features of Walk-in VR is a mode that is called Xbox Controller Move. And so Xbox Controller Move allows us to use a standard video game controller to assist someone using a virtual reality experience. I'm going to check Enable Move Input Emulation with Xbox Controller, and I'm going to click Start Walk-in VR. Again, on the screen, what we're seeing is what Kenji's able to see inside of Job Simulator right now. And so Kenji's not able to turn to the left at this point to actually see the freezer. And so if the first task is to open the freezer and get something from the freezer, how's he going to be able to complete this experience? Well, with Walk-in VR, I can use the Xbox controller and reposition the viewport of Kenji. So now I have shifted Kenji to be looking to the left, even though he has not moved in the chair. And I can move down the viewport. So it's basically like shrinking the height inside of the game experience without Kenji needing to move. All right, so now that I've repositioned Kenji in Job Simulator, he's now going to reach and open the freezer. All right, and maybe I want to move him closer to the burritos so they're right in front of his reach. Great, and Kenji just ate a burrito. So that's one of the ways we can adapt an experience with Walk-in VR. So I'm going to now move the avatar back to the original experience. And now we're basically back to where we started. So the same way that we can use Walk-in VR to move very low to the ground, we can also use Walk-in VR to move very high up into space as well. Thanks for watching.